Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. We've got another interesting market day, it looks like. It looks like markets may be starting to recover a little bit. We're going to take a look at some of the charts pretty soon, but it's looking like a pretty green market all across the board. Pretty much every stock that we've been watching is up in the after hours and pre-market today. So let's take a look, starting with, well, we can look at SPY first. You can see SPY has been recovering in a big way in the bottom right chart right here. SPY basically just a straight line right here moving up. So not bad for the markets. It looks like maybe the crash is over. It looks like maybe fears are dispersing, but I don't know. I'm still not too sure about that. We'll see what happens during the trading day today. If we start moving back down, that could be very bad. But as for the people in chat, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Silver. Good morning, Francis. Good morning, Kitchener. Good morning, Jamario. Welcome back to the stream. And we're going to be watching CFVI today. CFVI has been looking interesting. I made a video on it yesterday. It is a very promising looking company. I didn't realize how fast Rumble was growing. You know, I assumed it wasn't too big of a company at this point because whenever I post videos to Rumble, they never get that many views compared to YouTube. So obviously, you know, they don't have as many viewers as YouTube and whatnot, but it is a very fast growing platform. So very potentially promising company. And only being valued at $2.1 billion for those of you who are interested in it. And Zach Afsari says, good morning, future millionaires. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Rich M. Rumble CEO confirmed merger with Trump Media this morning on Fox Business. Wow. Confirmed a merger with Trump Media. Interesting stuff. Very cool. So I'll take a peek at that. But 1 second, guys. Of course, I have forgotten to turn the fan on real quick. So I'll be right back, real quick. There we go. It's just nice to have some airflow in the room while we're doing the stream. For some reason, the air gets very stagnant if I don't have a fan running. But good morning, Aki, and good morning, Francis. You said it again. Thank you. So, Jamario, Rumble, what is that? Asks Jamario TV. So, Rumble is a video streaming platform similar to YouTube. It's the company that CFVI, the stock in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, is taking public. So, this is a SPAC that's going to be taking public part of Rumble. And I can pull it up, actually. I can pull up Rumble just to show you guys real quick. You guys can see my Rumble account, right? So here is my Rumble account, I'm pretty sure. There we go. So, you know, I post my videos to Rumble as well, and you guys can find me on Rumble. It's a video streaming platform. So it's similar to YouTube, basically. That's how you should think of it. And good morning, Shadow Girl. And good morning, Ambition, and Rocky Mountain Gobblers. I missed a couple of you guys. And Quality Care, good morning. Could you give an insight on TOMZ? Sure thing. I'll take a peek at TOMZ real quick. So, Tomy Environmental Solutions. That sounds like a company that people would be getting behind. It sounds like an ethical company, Environmental Solutions. Nothing wrong with that. So, TOMZ stock. Let's see what they're all about. I've not heard of this company before. So, let's see what Market Watch has to say about them. Okay, so Tomy Environmental Solutions provides disinfection and decontamination essentials under the brand name Steramist. It operates through the following division: hospital, healthcare, life sciences, Tomy's service network, and food safety. So, okay, so it's not an environmental company necessarily. It's more of a sterilization company. Interesting. $34.44 million market cap. And let's see what they've done over the past 2 years. So yeah, they really peaked out during the height of COVID fears, right? And they haven't been doing too great ever since. They did come back a little bit, maybe as Omicron fears were resurfacing. This one, though, you know, maybe if they can find some really great products to sell and people are willing to buy those products, then maybe they could do decently. But I don't know if we're going to need too much sterilization in the future. I think this may have been more of a pandemic play to get in on. You know, if you could get in on it 2 years ago and it was 49 cents, ride it up to 17, that might have been the better move. I'm not so sure if we need to. I mean, obviously it could come back, and, you know, all of the small caps have been getting hurt. So it certainly could come back in 2022. But I'm not sure if there's going to be a big catalyst for it. I mean, potentially if there's another outbreak of something, then it could move up big. But it looks like it didn't move up too much. It moved up a decent amount, honestly. It did double. I guess it almost doubled when Omicron fears were at their peak a couple days ago. So, you know, it could do well, but I don't see the same level of fear coming back that we saw during the beginning of COVID. I just don't see it happening. Maybe, but probably not is my guess for TOMZ. It could be a good one, if something else happens that causes a lot of infection-related fears, but I'm all in all not too enthused by disinfectant company. Maybe it's a good one, though. That's just my opinion. Obviously, it could go up. A lot of the small caps have been hurting, so it certainly could go up in the future, but that's just what I'm thinking about TOMZ. CFVI, well, actually, I'll take a peek at DWAC. It looks like, and Kitchener-Leslie said it, I think, that Devin Nunes, as CEO of TMTG. So yeah, you see that when that was announced, the stock moved up quite a bit, DWAC moved up quite a bit, and we have given back some of those gains during the course of the after hours and pre-market. So we'll see what happens at market open. And good morning, Manny C. What's up, man? And Silver says, it feels like the movie Polar Express when Tom Hanks' character says to get on the train at the beginning. Very possible, yeah. We'll have to see what happens with it. It looks like Sundial's up, too. Sundial's up almost back to 60 cents. It looks like around 58.5, so they gapped up not too much, but over the course of the pre-market, they had a little gap up right there, so we'll see what happens with Sundial, if they can maintain these gains, if there's any news for this. Okay, so Indiana GOP lawmakers plan medical cannabis bill as Democrats push full recreational legalization. Interesting. Wow, very cool. So it looks like every state is, not every state literally, but most states are pushing legalization in either for medical or recreational. So a lot of states are trying to push legalization. It looks like in 2022, that's probably going to be the year that we get it federally. That's my expectation, at least, with all of these states pushing it. I don't see an excuse for the federal government, to delay it anymore. I can't think of what excuse they would use. And Zach Taylor, good morning. Zach Taylor, good morning. And Kitchen-Leslie, some sort of DWAC connection to Wuhan, which I think is an amazing troll. Oh, I didn't know DWAC connection to Wuhan. Interesting stuff. So Eric, what's up, man? What's up? Good to see some of the regulars getting back in the stream. It's looking like this market crash might be over. I mean, looking at the chart, SPY is looking pretty darn good. When we see this thing open up, we're actually going to be looking at SPY open up around $65 probably, if they stay where they are. So that'll be a decent gap up. It shows that some of the fear might be dissipating. We'll see if that level maintains itself. Who's to say? I think that maybe it's a bit of a premature ending to this downturn that we were in. QQQ is up a decent amount as well. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with it. They're not back up to their highs, but they're getting close. They're definitely not at their lows anymore. So they are a safe distance away from their lows, over $10 away from their lows on QQQ. SPY is also over almost $20 away from about $15 away from the lows on SPY. So they have built up a little buffer. And Nicholas Morello says, Rob, glad I didn't sell, and good morning, Rico, also, but Nicholas Morello says, Rob, glad I didn't sell yesterday morning, been slowly selling Pinterest and CrowdStrike shares this morning for a beautiful profit. Nice. Let's see, what is Pinterest doing? PINS, I'm pretty sure. PINS. So it's, it looks like they gapped up a little bit. Nice. And what was the other one? CrowdStrike. Let's see. CRWD. Yeah, nice. That one's up too. So more DWAC Russian investigation. I mean SEC. Yeah, that's sometimes how it seems. And CFVI Rocky Mountain Gobbler says is a good hold. I think that's probably going to be a big grower in the future. I'm still waiting for options to come out on it. I'd like to sell some options on it. But no options for CFVI yet, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens with that when they end up adding those options. We'll probably start selling some puts on it. Nicholas Morello still holding SPCE and Dropbox. SPC, that's a good one, I think, for the future. And it did gap up a little bit, so a lot is recovering today. So it's looking like it's going to probably be a green day in the markets unless we instantly start a massive sell-off today. It's possible. It's possible we'll do that. It's possible we will. And let's see what's happened in the past on SPY. I pull up SPY in the past, and we can see how often during these market sell-offs we get a big gap up and then a sell-off. So let's see. With SPY, it doesn't seem to happen all that often that we gap up big and then have a sell-off. It doesn't seem to be the case that over the past year we've done it. So that is a good indication, I'll say. Let's see. Sometimes you do see a little bit of a rebound, which we could potentially be looking at if we have a little rebound here. I think, it would be overall pretty bearish if we had a big red bar today, taking us back, even not to new lows, but just down as far as we were yesterday. If we had a big red bar, it wouldn't even have to be that big. It would just have to take us down to around below 460, and that probably wouldn't look very good. If we're opening up around 464, I don't think people would like to see us drop down below 460. That could indicate a continuation of the crash, but we'll see what happens with it, right? Things are looking pretty good. It looks like some fears may have been eliminated, but there's still plenty of time for people to engage in tax loss harvesting, so we'll see. There's still the rest of December. Let's see. So, the more the media down talks DWAC, the more it'll pump, says Henche. Yeah, I mean, we'll take a peek at the shorts on DWAC, but the more shorts who get in on it right now, when it eventually goes up, the more shorts who will have to cover at some point. And you can actually see there are some shorts getting into DWAC today, even. So, plus 4.72% short interest change, bringing us up to a 10.51% short interest as a percentage of the free float, 3.16 million shares short on DWAC. So a decent amount of shorts actually entering today. So somewhat significantly raising that short interest. 1/20th of the shorts essentially got in today. So you can see, the short interest is rising. Zach Taylor says, someone show me a SPAC or new stock offering that doesn't get looked at or investigated by the SEC. That's right. It does seem to be the case that it's pretty darn frequent. It's pretty darn frequent that happens. And, the SEC, they like to investigate stuff. It's what their job is. If they don't investigate things, then they're out of a job. So it makes sense. And Brazil AA, good morning, man. And let's see. We got some more comments coming in. I joined Rumble and started my first video with my dog, Sophia. Nice, Silver. And Brazil AA says there is a lot of expectations on ATER. What do you think? So ATER, we'll take a peek at Ethereum. It looks like they're starting to move up. They moved up quite a bit yesterday from below $4 all the way to highs of 486. So it's looking good for them as of yesterday, but they have quite a ways to go if they want to regain the levels that they were at. We were looking at ATR way back when, and we saw the bounce off of 20. We called that one out, but they never recovered as we had hoped they would. So Ethereum, let's see what the short interest on ATR is. It's possible that there's still a bunch of shorts in there. I forget exactly what happened with it. I haven't been watching it for the past while, so let's see. So it looks like a lot of the shorts ended up leaving, but there are still a significant number of shorts in ATER. 26% of the free float is shorted, 6.13 million shares, and that's been increasing a little bit today. So potentially this is another short squeeze stock. If it could get back up to the highs that it was at, then yeah, we could potentially see a short squeeze. It would have to get a bit higher than it is now to really bother shorts that much. Right now, I assume that most shorts are green on their positions, so we don't really have to worry too much about shorts getting squeezed right now. But if it does continue moving up, then it could squeeze them. But who's to say what will happen? We've seen a couple of little pumps on ATR when it went from below 5 to 630, it looks like, and got pushed back down. We've seen a couple of little pumps on it when it went like from 586 to $8, and then got bounced off of $8. So we'll see what happens with ATR. That's a risky one. So CFVI is what I'm curious about though today. I'm curious if it'll move up or down. I'd really like them to add options to it sooner rather than later. I'd rather sell the options now. I think 1270 is a pretty good price for it honestly. And it is tempting to buy some shares, but I know that, my strategy at least, I tend to prefer options. And Flux Force Morning Roberto had 12 inches of snow last night. Jeez, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I wish I had a little snow. Not that much, though. That seems like too much. But I do like snow, so I wouldn't mind it if there was some snow outside. We never get that much snow, though, in North Carolina. That's a ton, though. I've seen it in Massachusetts, but, geez, 12 inches is a lot. So good luck getting around in that. And Rich M says, any DWAC publicity is good publicity. I think that's often the case. Oftentimes, when we saw it with the 2016 elections, any publicity is good publicity. And Francis asks, where do I live? I'm in North Carolina. So not too much snowfall here. I mean, I enjoyed the snowfall. Every now and then we get it, but it is a hit or miss whether or not we have a white Christmas or not. So overall, it's preferable, in my opinion, to get a little bit of snow. And Brent says, that's what she said, to 12 inches is a lot. Yeah, that is. That I realized it when I was saying it. So, whoops. And I will point out, we're about at that point in the stream, we've got 66 viewers and 23 likes. So potentially, we could pump up the like button a little bit. We could maybe pump it up to 30 or 40 likes. Maybe we could get another 17 likes in here. It's possible we could do that. I don't like to beg for them, but if we could, that would be much appreciated. We only need 15 more at this point to get to the goal of 40. We'll see if we can do it. I know some of the regulars have surely already hit the like button, so we'll see if we can get some of the new people in the stream to help out this time. So Francis, come to Quebec. We got enough snow to share. I believe it. I believe it. And Kitchen Leslie says, I think Rob is in the Carolinas. That's right, North Carolina. North Carolina, yep. So investigate Tob, why he keeps talking about DWAC. Who is Tob? And Mumad Ilman, any recommended platform? If you mean for trading or investing, then in the description of this video, I believe there should be a link at the top. If you're interested, you get free $50 when you sign up for and fund your M1 Finance account. That's a decent long-term brokerage account, right? Definitely not for trading, but it's a good one for the long term. And we did get to 40 likes, guys. Thank you very much. And Tim Boone says, give the man a like or your stock will crash. I hope it doesn't, but it might. If you don't like the video, it might do it. I don't know. And Rocky Mountain Gobblers agrees. He agrees. And Kitchen Leslie, I call him Carolina Dundee. If that's that might be a reference to The Office. I don't know. I don't know what the Dundies are other than in association with The Office, but we'll see. We'll see if it is. But let's see what's going on with CFVI. Is it moving up? It's kind of stagnating. A lot of these stocks are kind of stagnant before the market open. That's fine. DWAC on a slight downtrend, following this downtrend the market's been on for the past about 30 minutes, 45 minutes maybe. So we'll see what happens at market open. Hopefully it doesn't go down too much. And DWAC revenue numbers are very conservative. I think he hits those numbers faster, says Silver. Yeah, we saw there was a report. So let's pull that up. But the numbers for revenue, I think we had a statistic that they put out. They said they were expecting, I think, in 2026, 40 million users, and to be charging $9 per month for TMTG Plus or True Social Plus or something like that. So that was giving them quite a bit of revenue in 2026. That's what we were guesstimating. So let me look up DWAC. Let's see, DWAC revenue predictions. So what is it? What was the article? I'm trying to figure out where I could find this. True Social Plus. 2026. Maybe this will pull it up for us. Okay, here we go. So we've got, no, this isn't really what we want. Okay, maybe this is. No. Oh well, we can't find it. We'll find it. We'll find it eventually. We'll find it eventually. So I'll find it and pull it up. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. But it was a pretty impressive statistic that they were talking about, how many users they were going to have. And I agree. I think that they could potentially reach those numbers. They could definitely reach user numbers sooner than that. But that article that we were looking at was how many subscribers they would have to their Plus service. Here we go. Here we go. So, update. So the 8K shows expectation for Trump Media and Technology Group Plus total subs to reach 40 million by 2026. And the 8K, I believe, also sees Trump Media and Technology Group Plus monthly fee and user averaging $9 by 2026. So if you do the math on that, we're going to do the math real quick. We did this in the last stream, but for those of you who missed that, we'll do the math on how much money they'd be bringing in every month. So 9 times 40 million is 360 million every month. Multiply that by 12, and we're looking at $4.3 billion a year in revenue from their Plus subscription. So that's just their Plus subscription. Who knows if they're going to have ads or anything like that, or any other kind of transactions or merch on their site, but that's just their ad subscription, and they're guesstimating that's going to be the case by 2026. So it's looking like it's a pretty darn cheap company, even if it ends up being like a $3 billion valuation, like the PIPE offering was placing them at. So it's looking pretty darn cheap over the course of years if things go right and their estimations are accurate. Obviously, their estimations could be either above or below. They could potentially have more revenues than that. So DWAC could be doing very well over the long term. And we'll see. I think that when it turns into TMTG, that could be a very interesting buying point, right? We could either see a big pump, we could see a little bit of a dip as some shares are potentially made available for trading that weren't before, and that could be a great buying opportunity. And during all of that volatility, I'm sure it could be very profitable to sell some options when implied volatility is very high, and then profit as the implied volatility falls, as we potentially enter a trend either, ideally to the upside, potentially downwards, but I don't think that would be the case. I think DWAC is looking like a pretty darn good one over the next 4 or 5 years, especially if their estimates are accurate about how much they were expecting to be making. So PR dropped on GEVO. It says Quality Care, GEVO. We'll take a peek. So yeah, it looks like they pumped up pretty big in the pre-market. They've got some big volume coming in, so let's see what happened with them. Reports a partnership with Colmar Americas for fuel supply deal for 45 million gallons a year of liquid hydrocarbons, valued at $2.4 billion over 8 years. So the largest supply agreement to date for renewable fuels. Wow. That is pretty darn cool. So let's see. Over the past, what have they been doing over the past year? Not horribly, but not incredibly either, right? We're seeing the same thing that we've seen with pretty much all of the smaller cap stocks, right? They pumped up huge towards the end of last year and beginning of this year, kind of midway into February. And then they've been stagnating, if not downtrending a little bit, the rest of the year. So that is too bad to see, but interesting catalyst for them. It certainly moved them up quite a bit. So they're up to 659. So yeah, that is a pretty good rebound. It definitely erased a lot of the losses over the past couple of weeks. So good stuff. Good for them. And that's a pretty cool industry to be in. Hydrocarbons, it looks like, or hydrocarbons. So renewable fuel, very interesting industry. I mean, we'll see how long we need it, right? If we just move to other means of power like nuclear or solar, then who's to say if we'll need too much of that in the future? But that is a pretty darn cool industry, at least for the next 10 years, before we really get some alternative means of power. That's pretty darn cool for GEVO. And they've been doing decently over the past year, up from 1.6. So anyone who was holding them a year ago is up huge. 2 years ago, let's see. Wow, they were down at 46 cents halfway through 2020. So that would have been a great buy, especially if you sold it at 15. CMMB, price target $30 now. We'll take a peek at that. CMMB. Down $6.89. Price target of $30. So it looks like they are moving up as well. So they're up to 8 now. Even though they were trading down, they closed around 7.24. Man, and they've just gotten crushed over the past year. They looks like they IPO'd at 79 and just got destroyed. So that's kind of horrific, but maybe they can come back with this new price target. So Aegeus Capital initiates coverage on chemo mAb therapeutics with a buy rating and announces a price target of $30. So we'll see if that can help their stock come back. It looks like, if they're going to get to $30, then they've got a ways to go, and there's still about a 4x potential in them, even at 8. It's close to a 4x potential. If you get them at 7, then it is a 4x. So that's interesting. And Rico says, I have a dream of DWAC and Sundial partnership. Again, just daydreaming. Yeah, that would be a very cool catalyst for both Sundial and DWAC. That would be a very interesting catalyst. But yeah, probably just a dream at this point. I don't know if I see that happening at any point. That would be interesting, though. You never know. You never know in the markets. Anything could happen. Maybe we'll see it one day. Probably not anytime too soon, though. All right, and SPY, it looks like we've just got a couple minutes before the market opens, so we'll see if this market turns red once there's some real volume coming in. We'll see what we can get on it. Let's just take a peek at NAKD real quick. Okay, so it looks like it also moved up during the pre-market. Good to see. Not too much, though. We'll move back to SPY. Yep. SPY is not looking too shabby at the moment. It's certainly in a nice, solid uptrend, at least in the short term right now. It really could be ending the market crash, but who's to say? Who's to say? And Rich M says, hit your like button, guys. Thank you, Rob, for doing these live streams. I appreciate you guys coming in to view them with me and populating the comment section with so many cool comments. I really appreciate that, Rich, so thank you very much. The streams wouldn't be anything without you guys. I'd just be talking to myself and probably not talking at all. So there you go. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it without y'all. So thank you guys. And Silver says airliners and cruise liners. We can look at some cruise liners. CCL, I think. I think it's CCL, Carnival Cruise Line. Yeah, Carnival Corps. Okay, so they're up decently. NCHL. I think NHCL, I think, might be the Norwegian. No. Norwegian Cruise Line. NCLH. There we go. So, yeah, they're up big also from 20 to 21. And AAL, American Airlines, yeah, they're up big also. So, looks like the airliners and cruise liners are coming back, potentially due to Omicron fears dissipating, but it looks like American Airlines right before the market open is taking a little bit of a dip right here, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. And I will point out, guys, that CFVI at the moment is the #1 most active stock on StockTwits, right? It's neck and neck with AMC. You can see that the count of CFVI has 11,700 mentions and AMC has 11,600 mentions, so it's a pretty darn close race between the two. We'll see what happens when the market actually opens. Probably whichever one is more volatile will take over. And Eric says we're closing in on that Discord. We probably are. I haven't started looking at that yet, but we're probably closing in on it sometime. Around 10K subs. How about that? I'll really start putting some effort into the Discord. And it looks like we are off to a green start for the most part. Sundial's up. CFVI is up. The markets are up. DWAC taking a little bit of a tumble, a little bit, not too bad. It looks like they moved up significantly right before the market opened, so they haven't given up those losses yet. So overall, not a horrible thing to see with any of these stocks, right? They're all up over the past 5 minutes, just about. So all in all, not bad, not bad. Looks like Sundial might be playing with 59 cents today. We'll see if they can get past it. If they can, then 60 is our next target. So we could certainly be moving up big on Sundial. And with the markets, it looks like we haven't gotten a red bar yet. We've gotten a little bit of red at one point, but we quickly moved back up. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of minutes. Oh, it looks like oh, there we go. It ended green. It almost ended gray. But no, the markets are remaining green, it looks like. So good to see. Hopefully the pain has ended. Hopefully there's no more blood in the streets. But you never know. Over the past year, let's take a peek at the year chart on SPY. So yeah, it did gap up quite a bit. Not all that much. I mean, it's a decent amount, but we did gap up. So we'll see if we end up filling some of that gap today. We'll see what we do with that. My suspicion is that maybe people want to fill the gap a little bit just for trading activity. We'll see if some sellers step in. Maybe some people are looking at this like it's a decent selling opportunity. If there is some fear in the market still, then people might look at this like they can sell their stocks while they pumped up a little bit. We'll see what happens. CFVI moving down, just a touch on those bars. It looks like the green turned to red on that. And Sundial had a massive green bar. Let's take a peek at that. Crazy stuff on Sundial. Huge green wick right there, taking us up above 59 and all the way almost to 60 cents. So we got to 59.85 cents on Sundial. So crazy stuff. Massive green wick on that bar. Looks like some seller stepped in last minute. But also looking at our watch list, pretty much everything is green except SBEA. It's gray. It hasn't changed at all. It's 0 cent net change, 0% also. But interesting to see that everything is green today, and Sundial is back to 60 cents. We just touched it very briefly. And the VIX is down. The VIX is down big. We'll take a peek at the VIX real quick. We'll move it over CFVI. The VIX just started moving down in a big way. So potentially that's showing that the crash is potentially over. Over the past year, or over the past 2 years, let's see. I mean, I will say that when we had this initial big pump up in the VIX during COVID, we did trend down for a couple of days before coming back. But obviously, that was a much bigger catalyst, much bigger negative catalyst than what we've got now. Now we just have worries over a new variant and potential tax loss harvesting. So we'll see what happens with the VIX, if it continues moving down or if we get some more volatility in the markets. All in all, things are looking good. It looks like SPY moved up over 465, so nothing to complain about there. And I will say that cryptos are doing decently today. I'll pull that up in just a second. But it looks like a lot of them have recovered. Bitcoin up 5%, or almost 6% on the day, up above 50,000 again to $51,000 per Bitcoin. Ethereum up 8% on the day, up to $4,300 per Ethereum. Cardano's even recovering for some reason, up 10%. Let's see what Shiba Inu is doing. It's up 8%. All right, so Shiba Inu coming back. Still, we'll see what happens over the long term with Shiba Inu. It looks like it, unfortunately, is still in a bit of a downtrend. Even if we have had a little bump right here, we'll see if that downtrend can stop itself at some point. We still got a pretty darn high market cap on Shiba Inu of $20 billion. So who knows what's going to happen with Shiba Inu. But Dogecoin up 7% as well, up to 17.98, so essentially 18 cents per Dogecoin. And let's see, over the past 3 months, yeah, Dogecoin's not been doing great, unfortunately. It's near its lows. Actually, 17 cents was just about as low as it got, as low as it's ever gotten, actually, since the big pump up. And it is scarily close to 17 cents. So we'll see what happens with Dogecoin if they can't continue rising. But all in all, it's not looking too great. And CFVI, seeing a little bit of pain right now at the moment. We're seeing a little pain with CFVI. But Sundial is above 60 cents now, it looks like. So good stuff there, up almost 5% on Sundial. Maybe this is the end of the downturn in Sundial stock. We'll have to see what the short interest is. What are shorts doing with Sundial? Last I checked, they had increased their positions overnight, but you never know. Okay, so it's still the case that they have increased their positions. We've got it right here. Short interest change is plus 1.23% on Sundial stock. 15% of the free float is short. 313 million shares, the magic number that we've seen time and time again. So there's still a massive quantity of shorts in Sundial stock pushing it down. But that hasn't actually lowered the price that much. It looks like it's, or I mean, obviously it has over the long term, but today, despite 1% more shorts getting in, we're still up almost 5% on Sundial stock. So good to see. Good to see. And DWAC, a very volatile day at the moment. We've got a lot of comments. Francis likes SHIB, it looks like. Sundial getting some grip. Yeah, it is. It's good to see them back up above 60 cents. I think that makes a whole lot more sense than having them below 60. It makes a whole lot more sense seeing them above. I mean, I was shocked that they were able to get as low as they did at 53. I should have bought some right there, but we'll see. What are the Sundial options looking like? So you can sell the 50-cent puts for 2023 for 20 cents. Not a bad sale, honestly. Not a bad sale. We'll see. We'll see. I know they were selling for 21 cents yesterday, so a little bit cheaper, but we'll see what we can get on them. Maybe they can go up in value again if we get some more volatility. SPY though, SPY is still doing good for the most part. We've seen some red, but for the most part, we're looking pretty darn green on SPY. So not much to complain about. Even the metals are up. Gold and silver are up a little bit. Yeah, a decent amount of the miners are up. Okay, so nothing to complain about metal-wise, obviously, at least over the short term. And more FP, probably Doge will have to consolidate at this price for a couple of months until the next move. If Bitcoin will keep constant. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, looking at Dogecoin, it looks like, it's unfortunate that they'll have to consolidate near the lows because they are very, very close to the lows that they have gotten to in the past. So, in a way, I suppose those are acting as support, but it's too bad to see them consolidating below 20 cents. I'd rather they consolidated maybe above 20 or maybe even above 30 cents. That would be nice, but looks like they do tend to trade in the range of slightly below 20 to never really getting too much above 30. Maybe every now and then they can pump up to it, but very rarely do they get above 30 cents per coin. They do have a very large market cap, $23 billion market cap for Dogecoin. So, it's pretty darn large for a meme coin. And Bitcoin is recovering. So CFVI, it's looking like it's a nice little V shape right here. Fortunately, not moving down all that much. So we'll see what happened on StockTwits. Which one won the war? If it was CFVI or AMC. Looks like CFVI is maintaining the lead on both. On most active, but on trending we've got GEVO. So GEVO is the number one trending right now. So that's good to see. And Stand Up says, Sundial, let's make money. I hope. Looks like we're struggling with 60 cents right now. We just got pushed down below. Hopefully we won't stay below for too long. I think it makes a lot more sense for Sundial to be above 60 cents than below it. But it is a decent buying opportunity below 60 cents. We'll see if we can get it. If we could get it back at 53 cents, I think I'd have to scoop up some more. I think that's just getting too cheap in the low 50s. That's too crazy. And JL, you called it with Sundial yesterday. I think you might have caused the increase. I don't know about that. I don't think I have that much influence. Maybe one day we could all pump stocks, but I don't think that enough people are buying based off what I say. And nobody should be buying off what I say. This isn't financial advice, guys. I'm just making the stream, giving you guys my opinion on the thing. If people wish to follow me, I suppose they have the option to, but I'm never telling people to do anything with their money. So, Kitchell, he says, I like money. That dude's cats caused the increase. That dude's cats. You were saying something about another channel that was similar to mine, that had some cats on it or something like that. I forget exactly what it was. You said that at the beginning of the stream. It looks like MNMD. For those of you who watched the penny stocks that I'm most interested in, the video on penny stocks that I'm interested in, it is up 4% on the day, so that's good to see also. It looks like a lot of these small caps are recovering. It's been a bumpy ride for MNMD over the past year. They've been moving down lately, as has pretty much everything. But I think that they could have a great 2022. I think they could be moving up big. So we'll see what happens. Jay Ingram, Rob. All right, let's pull up. And Brent says Trey Trades has a silly chicken cat. And Silver says Rob is not Jim Cramer. That's certainly true. I'm not Jim Cramer, that's for sure. I never watched much Jim Cramer. I know my parents used to watch him, but I was never too interested in him. I think that I was always more interested in YouTube than what they've got on CNBC or whatever. I think it's CNBC that Jim Cramer's on. Who knows? And Travis Bruce, wait, what? I've only been buying everything you say. I hope you're joking, man. I hope you're joking. Let's see what CFVI is doing at the moment. So it looks like, yeah, just some volatility. They're just kind of stagnating around $13, bouncing back and forth. So we'll see. We'll see what CFVI can do. Looks like Sundial, unfortunately, did get bounced off of 60 cents. They're around 59 right now. They just bounced off of 59, actually. So we'll see what happens with it. The hope is that they could recover 60 cents today. As long as the markets don't crash, I think they should be able to do it if the market doesn't resume its downward momentum, which, I wouldn't necessarily say is, I wouldn't say there's a high likelihood of continuing the uptrend too strong. I mean, maybe we can. We're already up 1.42%, but I would not be surprised to see a little bit of downwards pressure on the markets. It's not a guarantee, but I would not be surprised if we started moving down, as potentially some people start selling some of the gains that they've made on the day. It can be a time when a lot of people are getting greedy potentially, when the markets have been moving down and they see a big increase in their portfolios. Yesterday they may have been wishing that they had sold some stocks at the prices we've gotten to now. So potentially now some people will engage in selling. Also, some people who are buying up the dips at these lower prices might be looking for a nice 5% gain in some of these stocks. They might be selling there. That might be why Sundial's bouncing off of 60 cents. And CFVI is still up. I mean, all of these stocks are still up. Everything is still green. So everything except the VIX, so the volatility index, everything except that is still green. So we're looking pretty good all around the markets. Now Rivian actually is falling. Rivian is falling. So, Rivian, I think that got a little overvalued right after their IPO. I think it was a little bit premature for them to go up over $100 per share, just regarding how many vehicles they had delivered. For those of you who are interested in EV stocks, Rivian is a company. I think they do trucks. I think it was. Let's take a peek at their website. So I believe they've got some trucks. Yeah, there we go. So here we go. Here's Rivian's website. Vehicles made for the planet. So EV trucks and just I don't know what you'd call. I don't really know much about cars. I don't know what you would call this, but it's not a sedan. That's all I know. So yeah, it's a good-looking company, right? They look like they have some potential. It's just that I think they're a bit prematurely trading at these high valuations. I think they haven't had very many vehicle deliveries yet. When they IPO'd, they only delivered about 40 vehicles at that point. So not all that much. Not all that much. And Silver says, follow Rob on Rumble too. That's right, I have a Rumble if anyone is interested. And Rico says, DWAC is the number 9 trending stock on Reddit. Let's take a peek real quick at the trending stocks. Oh, well, look at that. It's up to number 8. It's up to number 8 now. So it's up 4 spots to number 8 with 142 mentions. It looks like they just got a couple more over the past couple minutes then. So yeah, DWAC doing pretty decently on Reddit. Look at that. Let's see. DWAC also on StockTwits, the number 5 most active on StockTwits. So, it's still being talked about for sure. People are talking about it as well as CFVI. And DWAC has been pretty darn volatile. There have been opportunities to get in and out of it over the past couple of days. If we look at the past 30 days, it's certainly dipped quite a bit. Then it pumped up, and then it was down, and then it pumped up again. And even after in after hours yesterday, we saw a bit of a pump up from 43 to 48. So there have been some opportunities if people were looking to trade it to make a little bit of money. If people were, the algorithms were certainly making money off of it. And Silver says, Ford has patents on charging stations for all models. They're giving up on making EVs, investing in Rivian, and planning on building charging infrastructure. Wow. I mean, I know Ford has some decent EVs. Seems odd to give up on EVs. I think that some people were talking up the Ford EVs, so I think they might still be making EVs. Maybe it's just not their main focus, though. But look at that. Ford developing all-new EV on all-new full-size pickup platform. Let's take a peek. So, Ford CEO Jim Farley said in a recent interview with Automotive News that the demand for EVs is 2 to 3 times what the company has expected. Jeez. And JL says, I'm into locals for alternative news info. Is that the one? Is locals the one where people just get on and... Oh, no, that's... I forget what it was. But there was a social media type platform where you could just hop on and people would essentially be only live streaming. There were little chat rooms, basically. And everyone would just... I forget what it was called. Maybe that is locals. But you'd basically just be live streaming the whole time, and it was just an auditory thing, and you could join rooms and whatnot. And Steve Pont says, good morning, people. Hit that like button. 86 watching, only 60 likes. Let's make it to 70 likes. I think we could definitely do it. We've got 85 people in the stream right now and 61 likes. Let's see if we can bump it up to 69 or 70 likes. Either way, I'm happy with it. We could potentially do that if we just get 8 or 9 more people hitting the like button. It wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much to get us there. We've got 63 now, so we'll see. We'll see what we can do. But it looks like Sundial has slowed its descent at the very least. Maybe it's going to end up consolidating above 59 and then start moving up above 60 cents. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. So we did get up to 70 likes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys very much. And Rico says, yeah, like Robbie's doing a good job. I appreciate it, Rico. I appreciate it. Now let's see if FinViz has updated their market. There we go. So here is a map of the market just to show you guys how well the stock market is doing today. We've got pretty much everything green. Here's the stock market map right here. Microsoft up 1.6%, Apple up 2%, Google up 1.65%, Facebook up 1.3%, Amazon 1.7%. Tesla's doing good, up over 1,000 again. So it was a very brief descent that they had below 1,000. We'll see if the market downturn continues later this month and if we can get Tesla a little bit cheaper again. Hopefully we can at some point get some cheap Tesla. I like getting cheap Tesla. And Nvidia up 3%, Intel up 6%. Pretty much everything green. I mean, very little. Merck is down a little bit, but Pfizer's down. Not all that much is red in the markets today. Pretty much everything green. So obviously, we're recovering a bit, but it is notable that oftentimes the biggest green days that you have in the market are during market downturns, and the biggest red days that you have in the market are during, also market downturns, actually. Market downturns, that's why the VIX goes up all the time for, calls and puts, because stocks are just a lot more volatile when they're crashing. So we'll see what happens with that. But Vinco Ventures BBIG up 14%. Wow. Yeah, I saw BBIG right here up at this point 12% now. It looks like they might have dipped down a little bit, but there we go. BBIG up 13%, $2.87 per share BBIG. Yeah, it looks like they might be recovering just in time for the Thai dividend, right? So maybe people were hoping to get that Thai dividend off of BBIG, and we'll see. So stand-up gap needs to close for Sundial first before possibly back up, says stand-up. Let's take a look at the gap on Sundial. So is there a gap? It looks like, yeah, there's a very, very tiny gap. It needs to move down like, that's almost such a small gap, I don't want to call it a gap, but we'll see. Maybe they'll fill it. They'd only have to go down to 58.37 cents or something like that. So all in all, not the biggest gap to fill, but possible. DWAC up 7%. Did some new news come out? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like just some good old buy-in pressure for DWAC. Look at that. And for Sundial, too, we're getting a nice green bar on everything, except the markets in general. The markets in general aren't moving up that much. But yeah, BBIG moving up now, 14.57% to 291. Let's see what CFVI is doing. CFVI at $13.10. Nice. And we're going to do a poll. Which are you most bullish on? We'll do DWAC, CFVI. I know I'm making this one tough for you guys. We'll include Sundial too. And what else do we want? What else would be good? And maybe we'll include, we'll just add an AMC just for fun, just to see who cares about AMC the most. There we go. JL says, my portfolio is all red. How is that possible, JL? It looks like the whole market's green. Looking at this market map, I mean, look at that. The market's green right here. Pretty much everything, unless you're just in Merck. Or maybe some smaller cryptos, potentially. Let's see. I mean, cryptos look like they're pretty green, too. Looks like all the cryptos are up pretty big today. Crypto.com coin up 22%. So definitely very volatile. A lot of gains to be made in crypto. Up 34% on BitTorrent. Jeez. Almost up to a cent. And we're at a $3 billion market cap. Look at that. Yeah, a lot of green cryptos too. But we've got the poll up. So if anyone wants to vote in the poll, feel free. And if anyone hasn't hit the like button while they're voting in the poll, feel free to hit that too. Or the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that. But DWAC, 29% people are most bullish on that. 12% at CFVI, 41% are most bullish on Sundial, and 18% on AMC. So we've only got 17 votes in this poll, though. We could certainly get some more votes and see what people are thinking. Right now we've got 20 votes, so we'll see if people want to vote in the poll. And Zach Taylor, time to take the L on PROG. Let's take a peek at PROG. Oof. Yeah, I noticed, it was up big yesterday. And then it looks like we just got bounced off of 3. So yeah, that is not a nice thing to see with PROG. That's not a good look on that chart. Doesn't mean they won't come back, but by the MJ Stock's first days of January, yeah, I think that could be a good time. I think even maybe a little bit before then, a little bit towards the end of December could be a good time too. I mean, why risk them taking off without us? That's what I think. I'm not recommending anyone do it, but that's what I'm looking to do myself. Sundial to the green moon. I hope so. I hope Sundial's going up big. It certainly looks like it. It's the type of thing that should. We've got a whole lot of catalysts. I mean, even today, Indiana Republican lawmaker, plans medical marijuana bill, and Democrats push full recreational legalization. So there's just a whole lot going on for Sundial. And can't buy more Sundial till Jan 15th, says Seem Blind 2. And maybe that's when your tax loss harvesting, the wash sale rule stops applying potentially. Did you sell some Sundial for a loss, and then is that what you're talking about, Seem Blind? I'm not sure. Maybe that's when your next paycheck is, or who knows. Okay, and guys, I will say, if anyone wants to be one of the 3 people to hit the like button, we would get up to 80 likes, and that would be appreciated. If anyone wants to be one of the magical 3, the 3 musketeers, could hit that like button, then it would be much appreciated. We'll see if we can do it. I don't know. 3 likes is a lot, so it's a lot to ask for. Enrico says, I moved my majority of my money on DWAC, DWACW, and Sundial. Yeah, let's see how DWACW has been doing. DWACW, that's definitely a potentially very profitable company, or a stock. Warrant, really, but, it's a lot more volatile than DWAC itself, so. And at these prices, I mean, add on $11.50 to the price of DWACW, and that's what you're getting DWAC for, so it makes a lot of sense to get into the warrants, I think. If you're buying them at 14, let's just say $15, then you're essentially paying $26.50 per share of DWAC, and we have not been that low yet. The lowest we've got is $36.60, so The warrants make a whole lot of sense. Make a whole lot of sense. And Travis Bruce, I am bullish on FAMI too. Anyone else? We'll take a peek at FAMI. It hadn't been doing too great, but they're up 4% on the day. We'll see. I think FAMI, I mean, they've got a lot of good catalysts going for them. We'll have to hope. I need to look into when does FAMI get delisted. Unfortunately, they are a Chinese company. Oops. Okay. So, non-compliant companies. All right, let's see. Okay. So, I don't know if Farmy, there we go. Okay, so yeah, as of 6/3/21, they were non-compliant. All right. And Silver says, so how do the warrants work for DWAC? If I buy tons of warrants, do they roll over into more DWAC stock? I believe that's the case. I've never actually executed a warrant myself, but let me read this description. I read it way back when of how you or how the warrants work, but let me read this. So here we go. So the warrants. Well, let's just get warrants in general. But basically, I think the way it works is it's similar to an option. And I forget the exact criteria of when you can execute them. I believe, if I remember correctly, I'll try to pull it up in a minute, that the way you execute them, or when you can execute them, is either 30 days after the company starts trading under its new ticker. So in the case of DWAC, it would be 30 days after it starts trading as TMTG. You could execute the warrant and get more shares of TMTG, or a year after the SPAC initially started trading, which was sometime in September of 2021. So September of 2022, I suppose, would be the date that you could then execute it. But let's see if I can't pull up that information so we know for sure. And I'm not actually sure how to execute them, as I haven't done it myself. I assume when you maybe need to call your brokerage. And Silver says, I read that 36% of companies bought robots to work for them. I'm thinking 2022 that number goes higher as worker shortage continues. Yeah. And Rocky Mountain Gobbler says, you pay $11 over warrant price to get TMTG. Yep, that's the case. And Constitutional Right says, however, if they call in the warrants, you have 30 days to exercise, or they pay 1 cent a warrant. Yeah, and call the broker. So yeah, I believe that's the case. I've never done it myself, but it's a potential way to get in on DWAC cheaper, because the warrants are trading. So yeah, even if they were trading, like I said, for $15, you'd be getting DWAC for $26.50. Since they have 11, I think it's an $11.50 execution price. So, Ayad asks, what is the short utilization rate on Sundial? Pretty darn high. We'll take a peek at it right here. We'll refresh the page so we'll get the most accurate information. But right here on Ortex, the utilization is 96.64%. So very high utilization on Sundial. A lot of the available shares to short have already been shorted, or at least have already been borrowed. So pretty darn high utilization rate. Not as high as it could be. There are still some shares left for potential shorts to use, but all in all, pretty darn high regarding how well I think Sundial is going to be doing in the future. So scary to see for a lot of those shorts, probably. A lot of the catalysts that we've got for Sundial, but who knows? Who knows what the shorts are thinking? I don't know if they just think they can keep it down and keep it manipulated, or if they have some kind of exit strategy. I'm not sure. We'll see near the end of this year. I think that probably in January is when we're looking at a very green month for DWAC. But all in all, pretty darn high utilization rate. So that's too bad for a lot of those shorts. CFVI, though, it looks like it has started to move a little bit further down. So down to 1280 just about. We'll see if they can't bounce off of it. That's where they bounced off of last time. So they are actually getting a little bit of a green bar right here. We'll see. The markets have just been moving up in a straight line. I mean, talk about the markets just being green. Look at that. Up 1.84%. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens with the markets. Up to 467.36. Crazy stuff. And Scene Blind 2, which meme stock would you hold for the next 10 years? Whew, tough one. If we're talking about the big ones, AMC and GME, I mean, AMC's back up at 30. GameStop, let's see, GME. It's at 175. So, I mean, if I had to choose between the two, AMC or GME, I mean, obviously, if we're counting Sundial as a meme stock, I'd rather hold Sundial. But if I had to choose between AMC and GME, then probably AMC. It seems like the new favorite, right? If you look at the past year, they didn't pump up as big as GameStop initially, but then they became potentially a bigger hold than GameStop around January, February, March, April, May, around May. So yeah, AMC potentially would be the one. If I had to choose between GameStop and AMC, I'd probably be holding AMC for 10 plus years. I mean, who's to say? Both of the business models, though, in 10 years, I mean, are we really going to have physical retail locations for video games or physical locations to watch movies in? Maybe we will. Maybe we will, but I'm not so sure. They could certainly still be decent, if people are just hoping for a short squeeze, they could be potentially profitable stocks, but we'll see. If people just start holding them like they hold cryptos almost, we'll see. All right, so CFVI, we'll pull that back up because I'm curious about that one, where it's going to go. It looks like, yeah, they're getting a little bounce off of 1280. We'll see if that continues, but AHI halted, says Thang Tung. So AHI, we'll take a peek at it. AHI. Yeah, so this looks like it pumped up a bit and had then moved down. So it's not halted anymore, it looks like it, but it was halted for about 10 minutes there. It gapped up. Advanced Human Imaging Ltd. So let's see what they got halted on. Yeah, what news came out? It doesn't look like there was any news necessarily. It looks like maybe just some big volume came in. Who knows? Doesn't, at least TD Ameritrade didn't report any news for them. But that's interesting. And Stand Up says Sundial is considered as a meme also by Kramer. Then I would probably hold on to Sundial for 10 plus years. That's the one. And Acorn Sucks asks, so after the merger, will there no longer be a DWAC? That's correct. DWAC is going to change their ticker symbol to TMTG. And that's what you're going to be looking at. That's going to be Trump Media and Technology Group. So that's what DWAC is going to become. And CFVI is going to probably do something similar when it's probably going to change its ticker symbol. We don't know what to yet. I don't believe, at least. But we'll see what CFVI changes it to. Probably something like RMBL or something like that. And for FlexForce, says Sony and Xbox say the next console will likely be that last cloud-based play will be the new thing. I mean, it already is. Yeah, I forget exactly what it was, but Google had Google Stadia, I think it was. Let's pull this up. This is interesting. So I'm pretty sure what Google Stadia is. We'll pull this up. Is something you probably plug into your TV or whatever, but it's basically a console that streams the games. So how does Stadia work? Similar to the way you already stream TV shows or music, Stadia streams your games directly to your desktop, laptop, compatible phone or tablet, or TV with Chromecast Ultra, with Stadia, you're ready to play in seconds. So there are quite a few games available. You can see the list. But lots of games on Stadia, and you just get it. I think it's $10 a month. And if this would load, that would be appreciated. But let's see. Let's have the game show here. Here we go. So, yeah, there's a lot of games that you can even play for free. So you can skip sign up and just play. Try these free trials before needing to create a Stadia account. But pretty darn cool. So I don't even know if you need a console or if you even need to plug anything in. You might just need to play for free right on the browser. But that's cool stuff. They have all these games right here, and Stadia Pro. Look at that. Some more great games are waiting in the Stadia store. Okay, so this is what Stadia Pro gets you. You get a bunch of free games like this, I think, just for subscribing to the service. So what? Free games, more every month. Keep them as long as you're a Stadia Pro member. So you get more games every month, and you just stream them right to your PC. So cool stuff, and you can buy all of these, I believe, if you wish. You can buy them all and just stream them right to your PC. So obviously, you probably wouldn't be getting as high quality or whatever as if you had the game downloaded and all the files were on your PC. It'd be a bit more internet dependent, but that is a pretty darn cool way to get games, right? You end up not needing to download them, so that's probably the biggest plus to this system. You don't need to download the games, because you can already buy them online and just download them that way. But it is cool that you can just stream them, and I think that companies prefer that, right? Because a lot of the time, when companies are selling games, they're putting the code out on those computers, and you can then look at the code, and you can crack the game and put it on torrent sites and send out the game for free to people, essentially. But if all the games are just being streamed, then the code is never really out there on the internet, right? You're just getting a stream from the company. They keep the game code safe and sound in their facilities, and then they never have to worry about people stealing the code and unlocking it for free for people. So I think that in the future, they'll probably opt to do that once it gets a little bit better, because Seam Blind says, but Stadia sucks. I've not tried it. I believe it, though. I don't think the technology, I don't think we have quite enough internet bandwidth for it yet, but it looks potentially promising. Check out Gamers Nexus vid on Stadia. Oh yeah, I'll look at it. I've not if I was interested in it, I would have gotten it already, but it did not look like we were quite ready for it yet. And CFVI moving up big. Sundial also back up above 60 cents. Everything's turning green. The markets are green. DWAC moving up. It's up 7%. And CFVI is breaking to the upside. So it doesn't look like there's any news coming out for it. It looks like some big buys just came in, blowing the previous volume out of the water. It looks like hundreds of thousands of shares each minute. 300,000 this minute. We're not even done with it yet. So very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Yeah, all the stocks that we're watching moving up. That's good to see. Looks like silver took a little bit of a hit. Not the silver in the chat, but SLV, the metal silver, is moving down 0.10%. Gold up 0.09%. So it's too bad the metals have diverged, but it's good to see CFVI and Sundial getting close. Well, CFVI, at the highs of the day, and Sundial getting pretty darn close. It doesn't have that much further to go, but we got some big volume on Sundial in one bar, so over 1 million, almost 1.5 million shares traded that minute. Good stuff to see. And DWAC also getting some love. Looks like the markets have been getting some love too. They're close to highs of day also. Everything going very well regarding these stock prices. So not much to complain about in the markets today. No crash that we've seen thus far. We'll see how long this continues for. NAKD moving up too. It's up 2.96%. BBIG up 15% at this point. A lot of good stuff. We'll add CFVI to the watch list. I forgot about that. So there we go. PHUN, for anyone interested in that, up 3%. But all in all, stocks have turned very green today. We'll see if that continues. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. We'll see, though. looks like, yeah, you can see that small caps and tech are up the most. The SPY, the S&P 500 is up 1.89%, but tech companies are up on average 2.57%, and small caps are up 2.67%, so even more. So overall, looks like a lot of those small caps are coming back in a big way. We might have that January rally a little bit early this year. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. I mean, that's the hope. That's the hope, that we could have a little early rally instead of just waiting until January and seeing the bleeding continue in the markets. I hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see. We'll see. And here it says SOFI Technologies up 4.88%. Yeah, SOFI's doing good too. SOFI's doing good, no doubt. They're not up too much during the trading day itself, but mostly it looks like in a move up during the pre-market. So yeah, SOFI's been a little volatile. We'll see which side of this they end up on. If they end up moving below 16 or move up closer to 17, we'll see. And Abstract, what's up, man? Good morning. Good morning. And Stand Up says Christmas rally. It could be the case. It could be a Christmas rally. We definitely could. We could see that for sure. CFVI is certainly seeing a bit of a rally right now. Look at that. We missed this big bar on it, but over 600,000, almost 650,000 shares trading that minute, taking us up, hitting $14. So we're up 9% on CFVI. Good stuff. And Abstract bought some Lucid yesterday. Let's see what Lucid's doing. It's up 0.02%. All right. Let's see. Depending on where you bought yesterday, that could be a good one. So, oh yeah, actually, yeah, Lucid. If you bought it especially early in the morning, yeah, you made some money on that for sure. You made some money on that. Nice. And Jordan Israel Peterson, good morning, man. Welcome. Looks like some more of the regulars showing up now. But yeah, the markets are doing incredibly well. That is really good to see. I was worried that the crash would be continuing, and obviously, this doesn't mean that the crash is completely over, right? We could still see a red day at some point this week. It's not the worst, or that wouldn't even be the worst, right? It's not unexpected even to see a little bit more red. It's not a guarantee that we're just going to move up in a straight line. We definitely could, and I'm sure a lot of people would be very happy to see it. It's certainly what we've done every time in the past. We've definitely done that in the past. Every time we've had a market downturn, we've moved straight up, and it looks like that's what's happening now. It looks like this was a very brief market downturn. It didn't even take us that low. And now people are ready to start pumping some money back in the market. So Sundial back up above 60 cents at highs of day. Really good to see for Sundial. CFVI doing incredibly well, up over 10%. And SPY up almost 2%. Can we crack that 2% gain on SPY? All we'd have to do is get up above 468 to do it. And then we'd have our 2% gain. So if we can just gain another 10 cents on SPY, then we're up 2%. DWAC, a nice solid uptrend that we've seen pretty much the whole trading day. So hopefully it continues that as well. But not much to complain about in these markets. I mean, there's not much to be losing money on today. Some stocks, I mean, we're looking at BBIG, they're up about 14%. CFVI up 10%. Pretty much everything's green. Even GameStop up 7.67%. AMC up 8.79%. I know a lot of people are probably happy to see that. In fact, regarding the poll that we've done, we have 80 votes in this poll, and 23% of people are most bullish on DWAC, 11% are most bullish on CFVI, 49% are most bullish on Sundial, and 16% are most bullish on AMC. And I think I would have to agree. I think a lot of those stocks could be doing very well. Sundial, I think I'd be most bullish on, but that's just me. I mean, obviously everybody has their own opinions, so. And who's to say which will end up being the best one over the long term? But that is good to see that the markets are finally recovering. Finally, we're not in this perpetual downtrend. Now, obviously, this is actually really good for Sundial. This is the first time that we've really broken this downtrend. So let's actually draw a little channel if we can, just for fun. Yeah, nah, kind of like that. Let's see. Let's draw a little bit of a better channel just for fun. Sometimes it's just nice to make pictures on the charts. Um, they don't always mean that much, but it looks like we are kind of breaking out of this downwards channel. We'll see. If we can continue this for a while, then that would be very good for Sundial. I don't care much about that drawing, though. But I'd be happy to see it. And Zach Taylor says, lol, I sold Sundial last night and bought more DWACW. Well, I mean, either way, Sundial, what? It's up 6% DWACW. I'm sure it's up as well. Yeah, it's up 11%. So, hey, how about that? You made some money on it, depending on when you did that, right? If it was too late last night, then maybe you didn't make much. But overall, on the day from close, DWACW up 11%. So there you go. We'll see. We'll see what happened with that. But CFVI struggling to keep the 10% gain. It looks like we're getting a little bounce off of $14 with CFVI. And we'll see. We'll see what happens if those continue moving up. Bad DJ, who, how, no flow, and no mixing skills, says Rico. I'm not sure what's going on in the comments anymore. I missed those for a second. And Kitchener Leslie says, hi, Rob. What's up, Kitchener? Yeah, no, I never know what's going on in the comment section anymore, or half the time. I look back, and it looks like there are full-fledged essays people are writing over there. So I end up missing a decent amount of that, but no time to read all of it. At this point, I have noticed the chat rate has gone up significantly. We've doubled it since we started the streams, doing way back when. We used to have a chat rate of 2, and I forget exactly what that means, what the chat rate means. Let's see. Chat rate of the stream at the most recently available time. Okay, so it doesn't really explain what chat rate means, but whatever. Let's see if there is. Well, we'll pull up this news actually. Indiana legalization. Okay, so here we go. Indiana GOP lawmaker. This is about Sundial. Plans medical marijuana bill as Democrats push full recreational legalization. So Democrats in Indiana have launched a campaign to legalize marijuana in the state and appeal to business-friendly Republicans to join to help the state's economy. Surely Sundial is benefiting slightly from this news, obviously. Obviously, Sundial is benefiting alongside the whole market. It's up about 6%, and the SPY is up 2%. So a lot of these stocks are just ending these sell-offs, supposedly ending these sell-offs, hopefully ending them. And but surely part of why they're moving up is because Indiana and just a whole slew of states are considering legalization next year. And Rep. Jim Lucas, a Republican, says, I have a medical cannabis bill ready to go. So I think that in Indiana we could be seeing legalization too. Indiana is one of just a handful of states that has not legalized medical marijuana. So it polls higher than any other issue, Lucas said. We've seen 38 other states step up and do the right thing for their citizens. We know it saves lives. We know it offers a better quality of life. That's what Rep. Jim Lucas, a Republican from Indiana, says at least. So in 2016, the National American Legion, which is based in Indianapolis, called on Congress to remove marijuana from Schedule 1 of the Federal Controlled Substances Act and reclassify it to recognize cannabis as a drug with potential medical value. So it looks like Indiana, at the very least, may be decriminalizing it, or actually maybe making medical marijuana legal. That's what they're pushing. That's what Republicans are pushing in Indiana, and Democrats are pushing for full recreational legalization. So interesting stuff. And Angel Soul in Me says, I join every day. You are nice and calm, and I like that. I appreciate that, Angel Soul. And Seem Blind 2. Rob puts his left sock on first. Does this mean he's never right? More at 11. Yeah, I do actually tend to put my left sock on first, so... Let's see, what else we got? Silver says, I like Rob. Economic Ninja, BCP. Not sure what BCP means, but I appreciate it. And today I bought paper rags in Tel Aviv. Price up 20%, says Money Lover. Not transitory. Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of well, obviously, even Powell is saying now that prices aren't transitory anymore. So it's certainly possible that more places will start recognizing the fact that there is inflation, and 20% increase in prices is pretty darn significant. So that is too bad. I've noticed price increases around here too, especially in food. Food has started costing a decent amount, which is too bad. But oh well, man. That's what we're gonna have to live with. We printed all that money. We printed all that money in 2020. Yeah, I think it was 2020 when we increased the money supply by 30 or 40%. It was crazy. And Michael Shocker says, "Good morning and good stuff, Mr. Almazy. Been deer hunting. Nice. That sounds very fun. Very fun. And good morning to you also, Michael." So Rico says, "Rob's haircut is always clean. Looks expensive. Not expensive. It's actually free. Cost me $30 one time to buy a razor. And now my sister cuts my hair whenever she comes back to town, which she does every now and then. So, yeah, very, very free haircut. I cut all of my friends' hair with the razor. So it was a one-time purchase of like $30 on Amazon. And it's more than paid for itself. I've gotten many gifts from my friends for giving them haircuts all the time. And my sister just cuts mine for free. So it's certainly saved a whole lot. And Acorn Suck says, "Decent secondhand cars are sky high." Yeah, no kidding. I bought a secondhand car. I was very lucky with the price. I ended up getting it for super cheap. I forget exactly what, but it was under $3,000 for the car when I bought it. And that's just because the lady who was selling it to me needed to move to Israel. And, she just needed to get out of the car pretty darn quickly. She was moving to Israel in a couple of days from then, and she was willing to let it go for cheap. So I got a really good deal on it. But this was right before all the inflation hit, right before the lockdowns. So crazy buying time to be buying that, because it's probably worth more now, even though I've been driving it for 2 years at this point. So I'm very happy with that purchase. The inflation has definitely benefited people in some ways. Obviously, I would rather there have not been inflation. It certainly helped stock prices, right? The stocks are one of the most inflated things, right? All that money got printed and stock prices just shot up. And I think it's sustainable even to some extent, right? There's just more money in the system, and I think that justifies a higher stock price in terms of what you're paying for them with cash. So DWAC moving up, so up 10% on the day. Good to see. It looks like we are continuing that next leg up. Maybe we'll get to $50. Maybe we'll get there. It looks like we are topping out around the previous highs. If you see right here with DWAC, we had some highs in the after hours yesterday, and it looks like we're just about hitting those highs right now, bouncing off. So we'll see if we can end up breaking through those. Obviously, this is our first little test of those highs right there from the pre-market. We'll see if we can't break past that. And Silver's talking about deer hunting. He says, "Free meat for winter, spring, and summer." Yeah. That sounds awesome. I've not hunted yet, but I would love to. Would love to get some just a freezer full of meat to have over the course of the year. That sounds incredible. So a lot of people bought a lot of cars, it looks like. And Silver wants his stepdaughter to buy a 15K used car with less than 40K miles and 3 years old. That would, yeah, that's not bad at all. That sounds a lot nicer than the car that I bought. I go cheap with the cars. I find that they still work for years and years anyways. And, 15K versus 3K, it's, although, everything's more expensive now, to be fair. I'd probably, for my car now, probably be paying 5 or 6K. So, KTM for life, DWAC shots, brother, let's go. DWAC moving up over 11% on the day, 48.95. We'll see if it can get to 50. Cool stuff with DWAC, moving up big. CFVI, seeing something similar. We saw CFVI pump up earlier. Now it's stagnated a little bit. Needs some time to breathe at 14. We'll see if they can't get past it, but DWAC is riding up this wave to $50. So, Zach, it's looking like those DWACW warrants might have been a good buy after all. Up to $16 at this point. Up 15% on the day. DWAC getting very close to 50. Getting very, very close. So very cool stuff. And Abstract says, I bought my 03 Honda Accord for $3,000 6 years ago. Still runs good, approaching 250k miles. Yeah, I mean, those cheap cars, mine's still running perfectly. And, I don't push it, but it still works very well. And I think the cheap cars are the way to go, personally. DWC or Zach Taylor, cha-ching. Yeah, there we go. Up to $16 per warrant. Nice. Up 16%. CFVI, let's see. What are they doing? Yeah, they're starting to move up. It looks like they just moved up above $14. Made new highs of day, $14.25 on this bar. We'll see how high they can get. They're on the uptrend. It looks like they're following this Trump rally that's occurring right now. So cool stuff. And guys, I just looked over and we've got 99 likes. We've got 99. I don't even need to tell you what to do about that. It's so obvious when you're at 99 likes what needs to happen. But it looks like DWAC is pushing 50. So potentially they'll be breaking past 50. We'll see. It looks like they're stagnating there a little bit. Silver says, if it holds above 56, no discount for pipe investors. And D-Roan says, loaded up on Sundial and Cresco Labs. Nice. Yeah, Sundial's doing very well, up 5.6% on the day. I could definitely see, just holding above 60 cents is nice. They moved back down and bounced off of 60 cents, which I like a lot. We'll see if they can continue this uptrend throughout the course of the day. A lot of the cannabis stocks, let's see what Tilray is doing. Looks like a lot of the cannabis stocks are green. Pretty much everything is green, to be fair. So it's no surprise that... PROG, on the other hand, PROG is not green. PROG is down 2.3%. It's the only thing on this watch list that is down on the day, so that's too bad. And Abstract just hit that like. I appreciate it. We're at 108 likes now, so apparently you guys really knew what to do. So thank you guys very much. And Rico says, 3 years used car is the sweet spot. Yeah, that's... next year we need Rob on Rumble so he can cuss. Yeah, I know. I watch out for that on YouTube because they always make me fill out a questionnaire asking if there's any profanity in the video. But I am on Rumble, actually. So, if you guys are ever interested in following me on Rumble, I am on Rumble. If anyone wants to search up the channel, I don't do the live streams on Rumble. I'm not sure how to do that, actually. I've never looked into it, but I'll pull up the Rumble page right here just so you guys can see. But there's the Rumble page right here. So I've got all the videos that I upload. I upload to Rumble while I'm uploading them to YouTube. But not the live streams. I'm not entirely sure how to do the live streams on Rumble. Maybe it's just the click of a button. It's possible. I'll look into it. I'll look into it. So welcome to the Rumble, says Acorn Sucks. Yeah, we've got it for a while, but and PH Dragon 34 says, no, I like professional and politically correct Rob. I try to watch out for it. I know YouTube's on my back about it, so we'll see. Maybe one day we'll change how things are. But Acorn Sucks says Rumble does not have as many features. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. It's still a work in progress, right? It's a cool idea, and I'm excited to see how they flesh it out. And Rico says, gotta work, guys. Have a good day and always be a blessing to someone. All right, man. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. And Kitchener Leslie says, I expect he says golly and gee willikers. I think you might be talking about me. No, I do curse in real life. In real life, I do. When I'm not on camera, I'll do it. Even when I'm on camera, but if it's not going on to YouTube or anything, if it's just a video my friends have, then I will curse. But I am wary of doing it on YouTube. I followed the Graham Stephan approach, in case you guys don't know who that is. He's a big, I think the biggest finance YouTuber, and he has a very different style from what I do. His videos are all like, they're big productions, so not as candid, but there are really big productions on his channel. He has millions of subscribers, but he always recommends appealing to the YouTube algorithm, not swearing or anything like that. I know some people do, and it's fine. But I think if you do it too much, then the algorithm begins to take note. So Abstract says YouTube is a tyranny. It certainly seems to have become that over the past couple of years. It's treated me decently well. Although I will note, I've noticed my subscriber count has fallen a decent amount. It's fallen, like, not my subscriber count, but my subscriber increase has fallen a decent amount ever since I've been covering DWAC and Sundial. I think those are two topics YouTube doesn't like too much. Trump and cannabis, probably. So the subscriber growth rate, I mean, still get a decent number of views, but the subscriber growth rate has certainly slowed down since I started talking about those, and potentially just because of other reasons. Maybe less people are interested in hearing about that, but it's something I've noticed. So if anyone listening to this isn't subscribed, feel free to hit the subscribe button and help out. That would be much appreciated. If anyone hasn't subscribed to the channel yet, it's the best way to get up-to-date information on quite a few stocks, in my opinion. So Silver says Rob's not a sailor. And Daniel Chin, AMC he has an average on AMC of $35. So that's probably out of the money right now. Yeah, so a little bit of a loss on AMC, but overall, not the worst regarding where it has been over the past year, right? 35 is pretty darn cheap considering that it's at the bottom of that range it tends to go to. Though we did dip down and make lower lows this time at 25. And NJ, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, man. You're my biggest supporter. Definitely my biggest supporter. Time and time again, you come through, man. I appreciate it. And Daniel Chin says, what's your average, Rob, on AMC? I'm not in AMC. The one time I had AMC, I actually ended up selling it for 42 around here, actually, I think it was. So not a bad sale. The last big pump up, and the way that I got AMC was actually as a referral stock. So if you guys are interested, in the description of this video, you can get $50, and that's a guaranteed 50. It's not an up to $50. In the description of this live stream, it's you get $50 for signing up for this brokerage account, M1 Finance, and depositing your first $100 in it. You just get $50 cash from them. So that's an option if you guys want it. I have some in my normal videos. I have a link to Webull, which is where I got the free share of AMC. But that's the one time that I had AMC, it was actually because I got a free share of it. And I think at the time it was worth like $40 way back when. It was a bit ago, and I was holding it for a little bit. I saw it drop below 40 to 36, and then it went back up above 40, and then it went down, and then I saw it go to 42, and I decided to get out of it. Just the one share, just because it complicated having one share of AMC in my portfolio. Just made it a little bit less appealing to look at. So that was the one time I had AMC, and we'll see. We'll see what if I get into it at some point. I'm not so sure if I want to right now. We'll see how much further it has to dip, if there is another dip. Maybe at $20 I could buy some AMC, just for fun. So or Ambition 2020, clear to see Rob's no lame. G. Willikers, yeah, right. He's about his future in finance. He's more of a boss. Curse on here for what? Money talks. Bullsheesh walks. This is his professional YouTube. Yeah, this is the professional one. I don't actually have an unprofessional one. There is a second channel that I have not posted a video to yet, but that I may do at some point. And appreciate the info. NJ says, busy all day and can't see the screen. You always keep us up to date. For sure, man. For sure. I know, yeah, a lot of people, surprisingly enough, seem to just listen to the audio. So that is good to know. That is good to know. And Sam says, good morning from the tip of Texas. Nice. And just the tip of Texas, NJ says. Yeah. So Kitchener Leslie asks, do you have a site, Rob? I could build you one. A site. A site for what? What would I mean, the YouTube channel is my site, essentially. I don't know what I would use the site for. Maybe at one point I could use a site. I would appreciate it in the future, potentially, Kitchener, if I do end up needing a site. I don't think I need one right now, though. I don't know what I would do with it. Any ideas, though? I'm open to ideas. Obviously, I could sell something, some T-shirt or something. I think that's pretty much the only thing people do with sites nowadays. They sell T-shirts. But Silver says, Rob is wise for his young age. Reminds me of myself when investing while others were playing Tony Hawk. I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely took a liking to investing from a pretty young age. I thank my dad for it. He opened my eyes, not to stocks, but what was it with he always liked metals more. He was into gold and silver, and just getting interest rates at the bank. You know, he grew up when they would give like 10% interest in bank accounts, so they don't do that anymore. But we'll see. We'll see if inflation gets bad enough, they might raise interest rates, and we might see those days again. And Kitchener Leslie says you could put affiliate links on it and make money. Affiliate links. Yes, I suppose I could. I assume affiliate links for, merch or something. Probably, or for something like on Amazon, maybe. Or sponsors. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that could be good. That could be good. I could, at some point, I would like to do a site. I've made websites before for drop shipping purposes. Ended up closing them down, but they didn't look too great. I wasn't great at it. And KTM for Life says, let's do a fan meetup at the bar, Rob. I think we all might be in different places. We might be very far away from each other. I know some people are on the West Coast. And Ambition says merch of That's Unfortunate t-shirts, at least. I'm ready to buy. Yeah, when we do t-shirts, that'll surely have to be one of them. That'll be one of them. And let's just take a last peek at CFVI. It's starting to get a little late, 10:30. I actually have a final to take today, so we'll have to be ending the stream relatively soon. But Silver says, start early, learn lessons, retire at 40. I agree with that. That sounds awesome. And ClickBank, Commission Junction, says Kitchener Leslie. That sounds nice, too. That sounds... Commission Junction sounds very, very nice. So, I def buy some Rob Rocks the Stonks gear, or Stocks gear. Yeah, for sure. We might have to start up a little website at some point. When the channel grows a little bit, we'll do it. And Kitchener Leslie says, I used to make $4K per day in affiliate commissions. Wow. That sounds very promising, Kitchener. That sounds very promising. We'll definitely look into that in the future. That sounds awesome. But, Rob, drive down to the St. Petersburg, Florida, and we can crush some beers on the beach going down for 3 weeks. Nice. Is that like, a winter break kind of thing you're doing? That sounds fun. And AQST under $6. I'm still telling y'all it's going to rip like LGVN. AQST, we'll take a last peek at AQST. And they'll probably have to end the stream after that. But yeah, AQST up 11%. So that is good. All right. So there we go. I think that is it for the stream, guys. Thank you all for joining us, for joining me. It was very fun. We've done pretty good with it. I think this is a very good way to start the week, even though it's a little late on Tuesday to be starting at green. We saw a little bit of red yesterday, but it's good to see that everything is turning up very green today. So hopefully this continues. Hopefully there's not too much more market pain through the end of December. It's always possible. Obviously, this could be a little blip in the radar. We could continue the downtrend starting the rest of this week. But hopefully that's not the case. So other than that, guys, thanks for joining us. See you in the next one. Have a great day, and bye.